Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Seabrook. Harmonious World is based on a Quincy Jones quote, "Imagine what a harmonious world it would be if everyone shared a little of what they are good at." And I talk to musicians and those with an interest in music about what they are doing to make the world a little more harmonious. This episode is the first of 2026 and also of season 23. I'm delighted to be joined by composer and pianist Øystein Sevåg, and his new album Lacrimosa came out during 2025, and you can find the review of that on my blog reviews. All of the links are on the show notes. What you're listening to now is the title track, Lacrimosa. But I hope you enjoy listening to my conversation with Øystein Sevåg. So welcome to Harmonious World. I am delighted to be joined by Øystein Sevåg from Norway. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
So whereabouts in Norway are you?
I'm like 30 minutes west of Oslo. So in a house that we built here 10 years ago, up in the forest, we have a wonderful view, and we have blueberries outside the windows, and the garden is, made from the nature. We don't do anything here. We just put the house with a studio floor, and then we live upside this on the top of that studio.
That's a lovely way to be.
Yes, it is. We love it here.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Right, well, I reviewed your latest album, Lacrimosa, on my website, and as you will have known from reading that review, I absolutely adored this album. There is so much about it that is just gorgeous. So can you tell me when you started writing?
The first piece I wrote 7 years ago, or actually a part of it, and the most of the album has been created the last 2 years, I think, 2 maybe 3 years, and it's created for the musicians. I know many of these people, and some of them I've been working with for a long time, like the sax player Benny Kofset I have been working with since the early 80s. And also the drummer who's been a friend for a long time, and some of the people are really new, like the British-Swedish bassoon player Emily Hultmark. I met 3 years ago, and as you hear, she's playing a lot on this album, and I think I love bassoon, and I have been very happy to work so close with her, and her way of phrasing and bringing life to every single note. It's really inspiring. When you write a line and somebody plays like this, it's just a gift for a composer.
Yes. Well, and I think this is the first album that I've reviewed and now talking to the composer about where the bassoon plays such a major part, and that sound is just gorgeous.
Yes. She's a fantastic player. She has been a principal bassoon player in the Philharmonia Orchestra in London, and played with many ensembles like St. Martin in the Fields, and also in the Stockholm Philharmonic. And she's fantastic.
Yes. And all the musicians on this album are not all classical, not all jazz. They switch around, don't they?
They do, yes.
Just as your style does, your composition style.
Yeah, I've always tried to find a meeting point between the classical tradition and the jazz and the improvised stuff, and to create a wholeness that combines all these different styles, but in a way that you cannot see the splitting point between them. So it creates a kind of new, like an alchemy project that I've been doing for decades.
Yes, indeed. And Lacrimosa means tear, and it feels that like that sets the tone for this.
Yes, it's the world situation is really troubling, and the planet or the nature on this planet is treated very, very bad. So and when I got this, the cover image is I got from NASA.
I know, that's insane.
Yes, they were happy to give it, and it's a beautiful photograph of the planet Earth, taken from I think 640,000 kilometers out there, on its way to Jupiter. But to see this picture and to call the whole album for Lacrimosa, or it made very sense for me, and yeah, and my goal is kind of to create something really beautiful, and you never know how you can inspire people, but to do my very, very little part, and to bring something into the world that can melt something that is hard. This is something that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know whether there are more musicians who are conscious of our place in the planet, or whether it's just that I'm becoming more aware of it. More and more of my guests are talking about the effect of the climate emergency and the environment on their music and how it's influencing them, and the fact that we need to treasure this earth on which we live. But
Yeah,
it seems like there's a lot more consciousness about it.
I think so too. Absolutely. Also, between young people, that's a
Yes.
waking up going on, I think.
Yes.
And on the other side, it's this very focus on expanding the military system, and to put more and more money into the military, and that shall be the only solution. It sounds like when you listen to the normal news.
Yeah.
It's troubling, but well, it's a complicated world, and
Yeah.
so
And we all do what we can, don't we?
yeah, I think we should try.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. At this point in the podcast, I would like to play a little clip from Love Continuum.
yeah. This was a piece I wrote to the wedding with my wife 7 years ago, actually. And actually, the sax player also played at the church here where we live. And then I have, expanded a little with strings and a bigger ensemble. But it's a love piece. Mm.
Yeah, yes. And but it does feel like, I mean, it's obviously a very personal love piece, but it also feels like, a sort of statement about the love that, for all of us and for the planet on which we live, and for everything, that continuum.
Absolutely. Mm. Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of music.
Yeah.
So, can you tell my listeners a little bit about your background?
Yeah. As a child, my musical inspiration was the Beatles, and Johann Sebastian Bach, to say it simple. And I grew up in a family where there was a big interest for music and art. My father he played a lot of instruments, and he was a scientist in folk music, ethnological studies of different countries' folk music. And my mother was a drawer, and she wrote some children books, and they always supported me in, finding my own way in this life, and to find a way to express myself, which I'm of course very grateful for. And I took a classical music education after high school with a music focus. I took a private music conservatory in Oslo. When beside that, I studied composition with a few seniors at that time. But in a way, I feel I have found out very much myself, and I've really been going my own way. I've also played a lot of different instruments. In the time when I studied classical music, I played the flute. But I played piano since I was 5, and my father was my piano teacher. And then my youth time, I played bass and guitar and organ and different things. And after the flute, I went back to the piano because I want to compose. That's my main thing. And for composing music, piano is very convenient. But I think the flute playing was improving my piano playing, because as a flutist, you are much more connected to your body. And when you just play piano, it can be like a typewriter or something. It's and when you have the flute, you are forced to really breathe out, and you have to breathe in and to breathe out. You breathe out through the tones, and this breathing I have tried to implement in the piano playing. So therefore, there are many pauses when I play piano. It's like I play a message, and then there is a pause when this line can sink into the listener and to the player too, and then comes a new wave of information. And this is something I'm very happy that I took those years with the flute as a piano player.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And also, to play stringed instruments and wind instruments and a piano as well, that takes a lot. They're very different disciplines.
Yeah.
For your hands, your obviously your mouth when you're playing the flute, but also for your the way you're reading music. So you're reading music in different ways, and but also you've obviously got very different musical influences that are coming through now in your own compositions.
Yeah, I have had many phases through my life. And when I was 15, when I was 15, I discovered jazz. And then, because I didn't understand jazz before that, but then it came like a explosion, and I was extremely interested in jazz and the ecstatic aspect of it, and the impulsivity, and and then I was into the fusion, and Mahavishnu Orchestra and all these things, and Chick Corea, and many different things. And I also remember John McLaughlin made an album with the London Philharmonic I think it came out in 75 or something, that was really impressing us. And it was the Apocalypse album with
Oh yes,
fantastic album.
Yeah,
and blowed our minds completely. So after that, we and me and my friends, we tried to do things like that, to combine. And the first album we made, it came out when we were 26, I think. We had a string quartet, a brass quartet, and a jazz quintet, all acoustic. Came out in 83, and we were actually nominated to a Norwegian Grammy kind of thing. So that was it's hard work. We worked 7 years, and that's a lot when you are around 20 years old. It's
yeah.
And we were really fed up of everything, after that. But so we had a break from each other, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm happy we did it, and yeah, I've always been attracted to combine different inspirational sources to find a new expression of, you know, what has inspired me. One of my first musical memories is when I heard Johann Sebastian Bach the first time. I was 5 years, and it was a completely expanding, like almost my consciousness was waking completely up. Especially this thing that different melodies can play at the same time without disturbing each other, and still they have their own life. You know, you can put like the fugue or something, you can take it apart, and every single line makes completely sense on its own, and then you put them together, 4 or 5 of them, and it sounds like a completely clockwork, you know.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, it's mathematically perfect, and it touches your soul. At the same time, it's what's really fantastic experience, and this is something I've always tried to look at when I work. And if I'm stuck, I often go back to Bach and listen to his solutions or ideas.
Yeah. Yes. There's something. I think it was I think for me, Bach was an eye opener, really, because mathematically it's absolute genius perfection,
Mm.
and musically as well. It's like, how does that happen?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So yeah, it is. It's fantastic. So what's next? What does 2026
Well,
offer for you?
it's a lot of composing. I think I'm now got in contact with a wind quintet from Czechia.
Ah,
They're called Alinde. They won a big prize in Germany last year, and they are really very visible now. And we have agreed that I write a new piece for them, and they actually will record one of my first chamber music works from '87 on a German label in the spring. And then I will go down to Frankfurt and work with them on the recording, and I will also present this new piece. And this is really interesting because, you know, knowing who you write for is always very, very good. And I've listened to a lot of their stuff, and they are fantastic. So that's a, you know, flute, oboe, clarinet, horn, and bassoon. Fantastic
yeah.
ensemble.
Fantastic. I love the variety in instrumentation in your music. I think that's really interesting. And I mean, to have any album that's got a sax and a bassoon on is in itself is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a concert in Oslo in October with this Lacrimosa album, and uh, I'm glad I had the best sound engineer we have in Norway,
Yeah.
because it's a complicated, you know, I have a string trio, a drum kit, a bassoon, and a tenor saxophone with a lot of volume, and piano, and you know,
Yeah.
it's a difficult thing to on stage to really make it sound great, because
Yeah.
instruments are so different, and also in volume. So to balance this, it's easier in the studio because then you can, you know, you have much more control. But on the stage, in the church, even so, but
Yeah.
it worked well, and we it was also filmed. So I think we will release some clips from the concert soon.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.
Same to you. Very, very nice.
Thanks for joining me for Harmonious World. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Øystein Sevåg. What you're listening to now is Rest from Øystein's album Lacrimosa. Thank you for joining me once more for Harmonious World, and I hope you have an excellent 2026. Thank you for listening to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Seabrook, and it's a great delight to bring this series of discussions with musicians and composers and writers and all sorts of people to you. Obviously, there's no point in having a podcast if people aren't listening, and I'm very grateful to my listeners for doing so. Thanks also to Joe English for composing and performing this new theme tune. So wherever you get your podcast, you can leave a review. You can share this with your friends and family, either as a link or on social media and that sort of thing. I'd be really grateful for that. Don't forget that you can subscribe now. There's a link wherever you get your podcasts. So have a great week, and please remember why I started this, which is just to try and make the world a little more harmonious. Thanks for listening to Harmonious World.